It could not be that bad. Yes? Not until you see them. Because in the second part, we're going to look into someone we've already covered in our previous live stream, Bruno Zhongwu, a CCP spy. Of course, let's do a quick review. Bruno Zhongwu is a registered spy who worked for the CCP. Bruno Zhongwu from the information sold on efile.fara.gov was registered according to FARA on December the 3rd, 2018. And as covered in our previous live streams, of course, Bruno Zhongwu has been actively participated in the CCP's unrestricted lawfare, infiltration into, and the subsequent weaponization of the US legal system against Chinese dissidents until this day. So you may want to ask, where is the proof of his registration, eh? So different from last time, this time we used a Google search and we find out there's an e-file document. And by the way, we help you show the website address. It's efile.gov/docs/6611 exhibit AB20181203.1.pdf. So this is, what is this? This is a PDF file of the registration form of the foreign agent filed out by no one other than Bruno Zhongwu. This is filed on December the 3rd, 2018. And I have to mention this very importantly. This is a very important detail that this PDF file is publicly available. And if you type in the keywords Bruno Zhongwu FARA registration, it is the first result that comes up. So you may try to ask me, so how do we know that FARA registration information is publicly available? Do you have any proof? Yes, we have proof, and we find out in the official response from the DOJ about the FARA registration public availability. Looking at the circled area, it says that FARA unit makes registration information and disclosures available to the public to inform the public about the activities of foreign agents within the United States. That says that all this information, you can search them online. And you can use the Google search with all kinds of keywords. You can basically search them everywhere. They are publicly available. Keep that in mind, because what you're about to see, what you're about to see, to all of us, so shocking. I don't know how to describe it. Let's continue to take a look. What does the ChatGPT say? FARA registration information is indeed publicly available. You saw that from the result and from the official response. But the ChatGPT goes against those two very obvious facts. We circled out two places for you. I'll read the first one out. It says, as an AI language model, I do not have access to confidential or classified information. Wait a minute. It says, let's look at a question. Is Bruno Zhongwu a foreign agent registered according to the Foreign Agent Registration Act of 1938? The first sentence it comes up, it says, as an AI language model, I do not have access to, listen carefully, it characterized the FARA registration information as confidential or classified information. But we already saw just in earlier that all these informations are publicly available. And even more worryingly is the second part. It is a suggestion. It says it is important to note, by the way, that suggestion is from ChatGPT. It says that it is important to note that not all individuals or organizations that engage in activities that may be covered by FARA are required to register. So stop here. Now you may be trying to ask me, David, it may sound very strange for why would this kind of thing to come up here? This could, or you have a question saying this could be a standard response for any kind of questions involving this in order to make it sound objective. But is it really? And why is this going? What is this going to try to create? And the big question is he really exempted? I find out a list of exemptions from the FARA, the DOJ's official FARA website. It has a lot of them. I just quickly spell out for you. Again, just a quick disclaimer. I'm not a lawyer. What I'm saying here is not a legal advice, nor should my words could be used as something, could be, just don't use my words to defend yourself in the court. If you use that and you have any losses, that is up to you. That and all the losses is on you. Okay, now let's take the first exemption. It says diplomatic officers and diplomatic staff. Obviously, Bruno Wu is not one of them. Second one, it says certain registered foreign officials who are not U.S. citizens and who are not public relations counsels, publicity agents, or information service employees. Well, we saw that in the registration form, Bruno Zhongwu is an American citizen, and it doesn't apply to him. And he is a publicity agent or some type of the information service employees. Oh, we don't know that. The third one will be bona fide commercial activity and other activity not serving predominantly a foreign interest. But if you're looking into that form by yourself, we only show you the first page. In the several other pages later, it clearly spells out that Bruno Zhongwu was registered because he, on the surface, he was associated with a certain news agency that is controlled by the CCP. So that makes his activity serving predominantly a foreign interest. Fourth one, humanitarian fundraising. Did what Bruno Wu is doing right now sounds like a what? Sounds like humanitarian fundraising to you? Nope. Religious, scholastic, academic, fine arts, or scientific pursuits? Nope. Certain activities relating to the defense of foreign governments vital to the U.S. defense? No, because Bruno Zhongwu is representing the CCP to harm the United States. I said again, Bruno Zhongwu is representing the CCP to engage in the unrestricted warfare for the interest of CCP. I mean Bruno Zhongwu, and he was carrying, and he is, and he would always be carrying out the objective of the CCP to damage, or saboteur, or even subvert the United States from within. The legal representation of a disclosed foreign principal before any court or law or agency of the United States government, again, that's not the case. Properly registered parties under Lobbying Disclosure Act. Nope. From the fact that he had to register himself as a FARA agent, those did not count. So from all those facts that Bruno Zhongwu has registered himself as a FARA agent and none of those exemptions apply to him, at least from what we saw, that Bruno Zhongwu's registration is publicly available and Bruno Zhongwu's activity do not fall into FARA's exemptions. This ChatGPT's English answer to our question is lying in our face. So what about the Chinese version? Let's take a look, shall we? The Chinese version, we only circle out one area and we find out that's enough. Again, that Chinese is translated as saying Bruno Wu is not on the list of the registered FARA agents on the DOJ's website, but we already saw Bruno Zhongwu's FARA registration form, and we saw that none of these exemptions of the FARA apply to him. By the way, our question is still the same, but it's just in Chinese right now. We are still asking, is Bruno Zhongwu registered himself as a foreign agent according to the Foreign Agent Registration Act of 1938? We asked the same question in Chinese, and the Chinese answer lied to us as well, which is, or more exactly, its answer is absolutely contradict to the existing facts. That is verifiable. So we have to ask ourselves this question right now. Why does these answers, including the one related to the US pension funds and the one related to whether Bruno Zhongwu was or is registered, or any question of whether Bruno Zhongwu is registered as a FARA agent, why in these questions the ChatGPT had to given us these kind of answers that is absolutely contradicting the facts, and it's outright lying in front of our eyes. Should we not asking ourselves that if the ChatGPT is trying to hide something for the CCP? So until here, our dear viewers, you might start asking me, David, are you a little bit too paranoid? I mean, we saw that all these things you listed for us, and yes, but what about the other questions? For example, the publicly available famous events or other very obvious public events, historical events, that ChatGPT will not be lying to us. Yes,